folks, welcome to this exciting video where you once again join me in the wild landscape of Scotland. And today we've come to the coast to explore some of these little abandoned buildings that's down at the old Bodden harbour down here. I have been here a couple of times on videos over the years, but it's always cool to go back and have a fresh explore and a fresh adventure. And look, there's a wee horse down here and a dog. Look at this here, folks. There's a little horse, a little Shetland. Hiya! Look at the wee dog, folks. You're featuring on YouTube. You happy, doggy? Yeah, we love animals on this channel, folks. And today we've got a dog and a horse for the start of this adventure. Look at the horse. Hello. You're a good horse, aren't you? We're at one with nature and animals on this channel, folks. Let's go on with this adventure into history and amazing landscape. Look at this, folks. This old abandoned houses is along the edge of the water, and it's been a while since I've been down to check the condition of them, but the erosion is like right at the front door, and in a few years these houses will fall into the water. Similar to the massive old lime kiln which is at the other side of the bay here at Bodden. This Bodden location is just below Montrose on the coast of Angus here. This is the North Sea behind me. There's some big waves coming in at the far side there. But yeah, I'm wanting to go down and see if there's anything else like falling off the cliff here. These old buildings have got so much character, and you can imagine the history of like fishing and stuff in this area, but also these houses may have been for workers related to the massive lime kiln which is also located over here. So it is interesting to think about that, like it's not just fishing in this bay like other harbours in Scotland. The scenery is just incredible tonight. There's so many animals, butterflies and stuff flying about, and the heat in the sun is just unreal. It's like 25 degrees Celsius, and yeah, you can really feel it on the back of my neck tonight, folks. It's brilliant summer conditions. Yeah, this is so cool. I love seeing these old buildings. Obviously, if they're not open, we never force our way into stuff like that. It looks like this house is actually getting renovated, which is quite cool to see. It's amazing often seeing some of these houses if they get restored to their former glory, but this one, unfortunately, every year the sea's wearing away at the coast, so it's obviously a short-term thing. You'll maybe get 10 years or something, and then I reckon this will just fall in, because the sea is even closer to the front of these houses, and I believe that must have been why they were originally abandoned. But yeah, I'm going to get a couple of pictures of this little house. See that, folks, for an abandoned Scottish scene right there. It's amazing how nature just takes right over, especially in the summertime in Scotland. Exploring some crazy ancient wonders is quite difficult. Sometimes places like this, it's cool just for an evening walk. It's just interesting for a little video documenting some history. And yeah, it must be a year or maybe even 2 years since I was last here. It's interesting to see the condition of these buildings, because I think the last time, this one, I can't remember if it was abandoned or if it was getting done up back then. So that's an amazing view looking over the harbour. Well, the old bay, I should say. The old harbour's actually at the other side of that. But it's an incredible view of the old lime kiln there. When I first saw it, I thought it was an old fort until I learnt the history of it being a lime kiln. And they used to bake the limestone they made it into like powder form once it was baked, and it was something that went on all over Scotland. And they used the powder like limestone, I believe, for spreading on fields for lime, but also for lime and mortar. A lot of old constructions, it's like limestone mortar, using that lime from the kilns. And yeah, this is a massive kiln right there, and that's actually where I went for my first ever BKR video. I explored around there, and I wasn't even planning on being a YouTuber back then, folks. It was just spontaneous. It's always been for the enjoyment of making a video, exploring stuff like this. And yeah, I forgot the character of these little buildings here. You can just imagine the people that would have like lived inside here. Maybe they would have been looking out their front window over the North Sea here, and there was probably more land at that time before it got washed away. Interesting history right there. Yeah, it's so overgrown at this time of year, but it's still worth seeing. The last stone walls are just hanging on to their existence, battered by the coastal weather, winds and rain. And there's just some last like tiny remains of the history right here. Look at that. Wow, the character of these buildings. We'll push on up and we'll just have a look in each door. So considering we're on the wild coast here of the North Sea, Angus, Scotland, it's not actually that windy. And often the weather's just battering these abandoned houses. Wow, look at the erosion on this stone. And look, it's had a little porch section and there's still nails. Yeah, it's cool to see that these buildings are still standing after all these years. Wow. Look at that, it's got some of the render still on the inside wall and the wooden lintel's still in position. You can see where the wood for the lath and plaster's been connected on there. Or it could have been something else even mounted on that. Yeah, it's crazy. And look, red brick internal wall with the chimneys going up. Still stained with the black carbon from the chimney smoke. Probably on those cold winter nights. And just check out, there's tons of bees on this bush right here, folks. And butterflies. Wow. There's proper butterflies flying about there. Wow, the butterfly's just gone to the side I was at. Here it is, look folks, on that leaf. Absolutely incredible scenes. The bees are proper buzzing around me. We got the butterfly on film, so real nature. Wow, there's so many bees in here. I'm getting out. I'm pushing on with this adventure into the next building. Each of these has got something different to offer. That one there was a sanctuary for wildlife. The waves is proper like crashing in over at this side. Wow, the amount of thistles and stuff growing around here. The scenes are incredible, folks. Look at this, the waves are ripping in this little bit. Wow, it's so cool coming to the coast, and then when there's a bit of history hidden in the middle of the coast, it's even better. Look at that, the old Rhone pipe. See, there's so many snails I've noticed. And look at the remains of the door hinged in there. But this one here, look, there's loads of the door hinge left. I'll let you get a picture of that. Wow, this is like one of the main internal rooms. The wall's not even connected down the side. But you can see the old fireplace with the sandstone lintel above it and the red brick. The brick's actually gotten thin from the fire probably burning over the years. And it's the same at this side. You can actually see how the upstairs chimney goes up and then the downstairs chimney goes round it. Often the chimneys give the walls the strength in places like this with the shape of them. There's a downstairs chimney at this side and I'm guessing it must have gone up the side of that as well. It's crazy to see history like that. Just shows all the different rooms. Whoa, there's a bee total fleeing around my head, folks. It's cool to see nature though's getting the good of it. Look, there's a massive metal piece down here. I'm not even sure what that is. Yeah, look how close it is to the edge, folks. That's literally 1.5 meters. And then one day this house is going to fall over there into the sea, and that'll be a sad day. History gone forever. And that's how it's worth often walking around with the camera and recording it. Look at the old holes in the stone where maybe the door frame or whatever's been attached. Or maybe these stones are from an even more ancient house. because this hinge is obviously separate to this frame hole, so who even knows? It's cool often to ask the question of history. Some of this building could be older than other bits. It was maybe added to over the years as the lime kiln and stuff started to take off. Also at a certain time the fishing was so popular in these wee harbours, there would have been 20 or 30, maybe even more boats in each little harbour all the way up the coast. Whereas nowadays all that is gone. Yeah, I'll just walk along the edge of here and take a look at the end of this building. Look at that, for a scene of abandoned Scotland, folks. It's the natural wildflowers with the crazy abandoned scene. And you can see there's a detailed stone carved brick there on the corner. So this house hasn't just been a plain old house here. It is cool to see the old masonry. Often it was the ends and the corners of houses they spent time on. Wow, there's nothing but wild animals fleeing about. Like, look at this, the ground's slowly getting worn here. Literally there's like 1 metre to 1.5 metres there, and then this house will just like fall down the hill. And then it'll be history gone forever, folks. It looks like the tide is coming in. But yeah, it would be cool to go. We might go and take a look at the lime kiln in this adventure. I'll get a few more photos of this for this side, and then we'll get on with the adventure. This is just the wild coast leading on all the way to Montrose up that way. Look at this, folks. Here's a historical detail that I almost missed, but I noticed it when I was taking those photographs there. There's been windows here, and look, they've been filled up at a certain time. And I believe on certain buildings in Scotland at a certain time as well, you were taxed on the amount of windows you had. So some houses from the times before that had windows bricked up. And even some big mansions and that from that era, they've got fake windows which are stone and they're just painted to look like a window. And I've seen a lot of mansions and stuff like that. But also this building could have been redesigned and repurposed over the years. Maybe from being lime kiln related to being fishing related, or anything from this area. It's cool to think about that. But anyway, we'll go and take a look at this. The old lime kiln abode here, folks. It's an abandoned history adventure right here. What more could you ask for on an evening walk, folks? Abandoned history and incredible scenery, and the waves of the North Sea crashing here are just incredible. You can see the building up there on the cliff. Wow. It'll be interesting to see if any more of this lime kiln's washed away, because the whole coast here is just eroding, just like everywhere around Scotland, around the UK. The conditions of the North Sea can be so wild at times, folks. Like on a night like this, you can hardly believe it. But yeah, other times it can just be extreme. There's so much heat in this sunshine tonight, it's amazing. Look at this, in the long grass next to this little fishing shed, there's a whole row of old abandoned anchors, which must have been from fishing boats or whatever around this neck of the woods at one time. And another little interesting historical nugget here, an old boiler, which I believe they used to boil fish. And I think there would have been like a wee chimney or a furnace or whatever back there. But I think that was related to the fishing of that era. So yeah, crazy little nugget of history here. I just noticed that as I was walking across towards this old lime kiln. Check this out, folks. This is the history where the sea is almost washing it away altogether. There's an extreme wind coming through here, but if I go into this bit, you'll be able to hear me. This is crazy, folks. There's an extreme wind coming in from the North Sea, and you can actually hear the sea roaring, because just round this corner the sea has like eroded it out. And like you can see, this has been something to do with the lime kiln at one time, for maybe like loading it up with either stone or wood. and then once they'd finished using it, I think they blocked it up. But I think parts of this lime kiln's been built at different times, because you can see the stone construction here with sandstone, and then other sections are built with like the red brick. So I'm guessing it's different times in construction. Yeah, the outer structure of this is impressive. Yeah, we'll head on round. I'm not sure how windy it's way to be, but we'll find out. It's normally extreme. Round this corner it looks on up towards like Lunan Bay and places like that, folks. Wow, look at this. What an incredible scene out here, folks. You can see how this whole structure's gradually just fallen into the sea. Look at that, folks, for an abandoned scene of Scotland there. And it's insane to see this drop right into the sea behind me. And look how the wall and every bit of the structure's undermined there. There's literally nothing underneath that but the strength of the old wall. It could drop at any moment. Even if a blackbird or a seagull landed on it, that could be enough. And this bit I'm standing on, you can see the last remains of the stone floor on the passage here, which probably led out. They maybe brought the horse and cart up from the boats at the old harbour and round. Now all that land's just been washed away. Incredible to see, folks. This is looking on up to Lunan Bay and places like that. Incredible Angus coastline. The sort of places I explore, it just feels like paradise sometimes with the scenes. The history that's just hidden within those scenes, it's magical. Look at this old passage. I believe at one time it was potentially like human height, but it's actually been filled in over the years. Because it looks like a walking passage for the workers of the site here. Look at the massive lintel stones at the top. That's the sort of history that I love to see. It's incredible just to imagine the people and the workers that may have walked through places like that at one time, doing their job here in the lime kiln. It was probably hard manual labour of the era. Look at the stones here above this. It's different red stone, but also look, it's raw sandstone here. I've also theorised that this site has been used in World War II by the military, because it's got that look at the other side. There's an old cement walkway up the side, and it's got like an old foxhole, like a lookout spot, just dug into the ground. It's just the lie of the land I was judging that on. Yeah, this construction here just blows my mind. All these individual stones and bricks. It was industrial Scotland at a certain time, stuff like this. It's cool to come and document it, see what's left of it before it does fully fall into the sea. And I'm happy to see it looks like it's still not like decayed anymore since last time I was here. But it's been ages, and I do enjoy walking down here because the scenery and wildlife is just always worth an adventure. So once again, folks, in this video we're witnessing abandoned Scotland at its finest. History almost looks like a cave because these stones have been here for so long. They've actually eroded and weathered. Yeah, like Scottish history is so like interesting to me. It's like ancient history, and there's just such a variation. It always blows my mind. I forgot how incredible the stonework was in here. Each bit's been built, and look at all the different angles of the stones, the way it curves around and stuff. It looks like some of the Napoleonic fortifications down at like the south of England. This one was purely industrial for the limestone of the era. Yeah, and what a cool adventure it's been to see it again. Look, it's got these stones sticking out. I'm not sure if it had another roof or whatever with beams laid onto there at one time. There's been bits back filled and stuff. Look, there's a dog. Somebody walking a dog. We've got some fishermen over here as well. If you're watching this video and you were fishing it here, shout out to you. It's such a cool spot to go fishing. Look at this, folks. This is the area I was saying I believe the military had been using it like a lookout up there, because the original like lime kiln on this site on the really old maps is actually located up there before this was built. But look, you can see this cement's been poured in against corrugated iron, and I think this has all been backfilled since the war. I believe they might have stored like ammunition or whatever down inside there, and they might have had radio equipment and stuff, and I believe that they would have had a little lookout position up here on the hill. So I'll push up through this jungle like terrain, folks, to bring you the footage. So not only is this the first ever lime kiln on this site, which is ancient history, you can actually see with this cement here on top of the original stone how it's been adapted and it's been changed. And look, it's a perfect lookout here over the coast, looking up towards Montrose harbour and stuff like that. And this would be some of the original stone at this side of the lime kiln, whereas this side's been adapted, maybe even had like a canopy, like camouflage over the top. But that is some interesting history, folks. World War II history. Sometimes you can tell by the way the land's like dug out or shaped, but I would say with this site, that's definitely the case with it. So yeah, let's push on with this adventure, folks. Real history documented once again. I was just noticing, folks, when I was taking the photos there, you can see the shape of this secondary cement inner wall. It's actually, it doesn't line up with the original curve of the lime kiln, so it shows that it's put in at a different time, at a later time. But it is interesting to see it. Wow, there's loads of bees right there. I'm crawling through this just to get the footage. Crazy adventures once again on the channel. Yeah, there's another little passage up there that leads in, but everything's so overgrown at this time of the year. I think that would have been another one of those backfilled pastures for the workers of the site to get to it. Anyway, folks, I'll update you once we're further on with this adventure. Look at this here, folks. The wee horse is back in his field now. He's having his tea. Or he's having a drink. What a cool horse. And yeah, this is time to end the video, folks. We're almost back at the car. I can hear an old tractor or something running up there. It's maybe running a grain dryer or something at this time of year. Wow. All the winter crop around here has been cut now, and it looks like the summer stuff's ripening fine with the sunshine. Yeah, I'm going to end this video here, folks. Thanks very much for watching. And yeah, tune in again soon for the next scene. I'm not sure where I'm going, but it'll be cool.